Introduction to the rise of populism in politics. Populism has seen a significant rise in global politics, particularly in recent decades. It refers to political movements or leaders that claim to represent the common people, often in opposition to the elites or established political institutions. Populist leaders advocate for direct democracy, often using simple language to appeal to the public's concerns and frustrations. Populism's appeal to the disenfranchised. Populist movements often gain traction by appealing to citizens who feel left behind or marginalized by traditional political structures. They focus on issues such as economic inequality, immigration, and cultural identity, positioning themselves as champions of the ordinary people against elites who are perceived to be out of touch with the masses. Challenges to traditional political institutions. The rise of populism challenges established political institutions, often resulting in a shift towards more centralized power. Populist leaders may undermine traditional democratic norms, question the role of the media, or attack the judiciary, which can destabilize checks and balances within a democratic system. This presents a threat to the stability of democracy itself. Impact of populism on political discourse. Populist rhetoric tends to simplify complex political issues into us versus them narratives, often inflaming divisions within society. While this can mobilize voters, it may also polarize communities and create an environment where compromise and dialogue become difficult. This shift in political discourse challenges the more nuanced and deliberative approach of traditional democratic processes. Populism and the erosion of trust in institutions. One of the hallmarks of populism is the erosion of trust in traditional political institutions, such as the government, the media, and the judiciary. Populist leaders often claim that these institutions are corrupt or unaccountable, presenting themselves as outsiders who can restore power to the people. This rhetoric, however, may weaken the public's trust in democratic processes. The role of media in populism's rise. The media plays a pivotal role in the rise of populism by both spreading populist messages and contributing to the polarization of political discourse. Social media, in particular, allows populist leaders to directly communicate with their followers, bypassing traditional media channels. This can amplify their messages and give them more control over the narrative. Economic factors driving populism. Economic instability, income inequality, and the effects of globalization have contributed to the rise of populism. In many countries, economic dislocation and job insecurity have led to a sense of alienation, particularly in rural or working-class communities. Populist leaders tap into these grievances, promising to restore economic prosperity and protect local industries. Populism and its impact on democracy. Populism can be both a symptom and a challenge to democracy. On one hand, it can give voice to disenfranchised groups and encourage greater participation in political life. On the other hand, when populist leaders consolidate power and undermine democratic institutions, it can weaken democracy by reducing checks and balances and concentrating authority in the hands of a few. The global spread of populism. While populism was once associated with specific regions, such as Latin America or Eastern Europe, it has become a global phenomenon. Countries across the world, from the United States to Brazil to Hungary, have seen the rise of populist movements that challenge traditional political systems. This global spread suggests that populism is responding to widespread concerns about inequality, globalization, and the perceived failure of traditional elites. Conclusion. Populism's dual nature in democracy. Populism can serve as a catalyst for political change by highlighting issues of inequality and giving voice to underrepresented groups. However, its impact on democracy is complex. While it may energize the electorate, it also risks undermining democratic norms and institutions, creating tensions between majority rule and the preservation of democratic principles.